Thank you, sir. And I'd like to welcome you to our board meeting this evening. Appreciate all of you for coming and all of you that have joined us or will join us on Google Meet here in just a moment. At this time, I will call the meeting to order. Please know that all board members and the superintendent are present. To get us started, would you join me, please, in just a moment of silence? Thank you. You stand with me at this time, please. We'll say the pledge to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. At this time, I'll call for a motion to adopt the agenda.
I make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Mr. Burr made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Mr. Hurd seconded. All in favor, let it be known by uplifted hand. All board members who are in favor, the agenda is adopted. Number 2 on the agenda is communications, and the first thing we're going to do is some recognitions, Mr. Stowe.
Thank you, Dr. Browning. Our first recognition tonight is our Fran Award winner for the 2020-2021 school year. We had hoped to do this recognition last month. It just didn't work out. Most of you know Fran Briner, who worked for us, and this award is named on behalf of her, somebody who was always thinking more about other people than herself, with a smile on her face. And so we asked the staff to make some nominations, and this year's was a pretty clear-cut winner. So we would like to ask Suetta Ledford if she would come forward. Suetta may be the best custodian ever. She keeps the high school hallways in tip-top shape. She takes pride in making the school presentable to visitors, but also comfortable for students and staff. She's one of the first to open the school doors and one of the last to leave. She works athletic events and other special events and always wants to know what she can do to get better. She's loyal and brings a smile to work. She's full of wisdom and shares joy all the time, no matter the situation. She's an invaluable asset to GCHS because of her service to her school. And I had the great privilege of being able to work alongside her when I was the high school principal. So this is a tremendously appropriate award for somebody. So congratulations to that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our second recognition is the Danville Office Equipment Support Staff of the Month. And if Sandy Whitt would come forward. Sandy has the ultimate heart for others. She's been witnessed to do things over and beyond for zero money or for zero accolades, just because she's an unbelievable human being. As a bus driver, she's so welcoming and friendly to the students each and every day. From an encouraging word to a piece of candy, she connects with the students. As a former principal, so you know this is Mr. Boland, I never had to worry about anything from Miss Sandy's bus because she had connected with all of the parents on her route. They trusted Miss Sandy and appreciated the love that she showed their child every day. Also, Miss Sandy would come to the school and help with small groups when we were in need, mentoring students, and spend countless hours making sure our Christmas programs had the best props in Central Kentucky. Bottom line is, we need more people like Miss Sandy. Thank you, Miss Sandy, for all you do for our students and our district.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Our next recognition is our Whole Latte Love Teacher of the Month. And our Teacher of the Month this year is Greg Taylor. Greg is the lead teacher at the ATC and has been a resource teacher for new teachers as well. He works hard to provide the instruction to his students on the latest software for computer-aided drafting and architecture that's being used in the industry. He and his classes have designed several house plans and civil engineering plans for projects such as the playground beside 5 Star and emergency evacuation routes for the ATC. He and his class have created parts in the 3D printer for local manufacturing companies, and he has a high pass rate on the industry certifications each year and is offering dual credit. Mr. Taylor gives individualized instruction to students who want to pursue a career in mechanical, civil, or architectural engineering. His students are placed for co-op at civil engineering companies, and he is truly deserving of this recognition. Congratulations. Okay. We'll get it. You want to take it this time? Oh, he's going. He's headed out. Yeah, go ahead and grab it. Somebody stop him. Next is our opportunity to recognize the Farmers National Bank Students of the Month. Our first recognition is from Camp Dick Robinson. It's Colt Barker. Colt, will come up. Colt's the 4th grade son of Jason and Jessica Barker. Colt is always prepared and attentive in class. He's willing to help anyone when needed. He's an amazing all-around student that's a great role model for his fellow Bobcats. We're so proud to have Colt as a student at CDR. Congratulations, Colt. Hang on just a second.
There you go.
He wants you to come up if you want.
There you go. Let's get them all.
That works. If I got that, it works.
If you hit the sucker, so does anybody. You're good.
Yeah.
You can go for Ken.
Our Lancaster Student of the Month isn't able to be with us tonight, so we'll do that recognition next month, and so there'll be a double for them, which will be fine. So next is from Paint Lick Elementary, Eli Weaver. Eli always goes above and beyond what is asked of him. He gives 110% every time he walks in the classroom door, no matter how hard the assignment is. He always helps anyone that needs it, whether it be another student or a teacher. He's an excellent leader because he models such great behavior for his peers. Congratulations, Eli.
Your mom can take a picture too. You got all kinds of stuff. Congratulations. You got a yard side. We got a big yard.
Next is Garrard Middle School. It's Caitlin Ratliff. Caitlin is kind to help her friends and a fellow classmate. She walks with him in class, assists him in tennis, talks with him during discussions. He loves working with her, and her inclusion makes him feel a part of the group. Aside from her high level of character to help, she's a good role model of behavioral expectations, holding her peers accountable for proper mask wearing. This is the perfect student to recognize at the beginning of the school year, a student who's willing to help others and behave in a way that others might follow her lead. We hope she never grows weary of doing all that is good because it's seen and it's loved. Congratulations, Kate.
On this side. Coach Hart. We're good, we're good.
Congratulations.
Garrard County High School Student of the Month is Kiana Childress. Kiana is an excellent student, but she's also polite, kind, and hardworking. She's conscientious and motivated. She gets along well with her classmates and her teachers. She's active at GCHS and clubs and also participates in athletics. Kiana is an awesome choice to represent our school as the Student of the Month. Congratulations, Kiana.
All right.
We're good.
Item B is make decision making minutes. We hopefully, school board members, you've had opportunity to look over those. Don't let these people down, just make you aware of what files for students. And item number C is audience comments. Is there a Kristen McCollum and Jessica Meadows here?
Sure. So maybe it's been answered for them.
Okay. Okay. I'm not sure exactly what they want to talk about, but maybe it has been. All right, since our folks who want to make audience comments are not present, then we'll go to D, and does any board member have anything they'd like to share?
No.
All right, item E is superintendent, and I think we might have some good stuff going on.
We have some presentations that need to occur for you tonight. So if our representatives from Garrard will come forward, they're going to share an update for you around their program and the work that they're doing.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for giving us a little bit of time. My name is Sarah Davis. I am the English academic interventionist for Garrard at the high school. This is Amy Witt. She is one of our college and career navigators at the high school, and Sherry Hume is our other college and career navigator. We are awaiting a new team member here soon, hopefully for math. Just to give you a little overview of Garrard, the first page, I've just kind of put this little packet together. It kind of explains our different roles. I'm an academic interventionist. I primarily tutor, work one-on-one with students. Mr. Stone. Oh, sorry. And my goals, if you turn to the second page, my main goal is goal number 1 and goal number 2, which is to increase academic performance and have an overall success once they graduate high school. The CCN's main goals have to do with after high school, making sure that they get, our goal, we want every kid to go to college for free. I mean, that's just would be wonderful. Every And we work with all the ninth graders and the 10th graders right now. And we're gonna follow those kids all the way through. I would like to direct your attention to the last page. These are some of, kind of a summary of our services that we provided last year. In 2020, 2021, we were able to provide over 542 hours of service to students. And that included 600 different services by the 3 staff members. So far this year, thankfully, we're not on lockdown anymore, and we're actually having students in the building. We've already been able to provide about 400 services and given the students 334 hours of our time. And this occurs within the school day as well as after school with tutoring, family events. So far, we've been able to take the kids to a field trip to UK to visit the physiology department. And they were actually able to hold human brains and talk to the professors. It was really a wonderful event. And then we've also been able to include, give our students some really awesome one-on-one tutoring through Torch Prep, which is a national program. The actual creator of Torch Prep came to the high school. He met with 100 of our sophomores, giving them tips and tricks to how to just be successful at the ACT. And then finally, tutoring, which is my big thing. I love it. I was able to tutor several kids today, and it's so wonderful when you get to see the light bulb start going on. So, does anyone have any questions? I talk really fast.
That's a good thing.
Thank you for the
Thank
work.
you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Second presentation tonight is from Performance Services. We're going to share an update on their year 2 report. I'm going to pull up a PowerPoint for them, so just give me a second on that. And then away we'll go.
Thank you, Mr. Stahl. My name is Dave Dowdell. I'm the Business Development Manager with Performance Services. And we actually completed this second year of the performance phase of your energy conservation project. And so I'm here to share the results of how the savings were in year 2. And there's just a brief overview on your desk, but there's a much more extensive report that's 30 to 40 pages long, but I'm just here to give you a real quick overview. So you can go on to the next slide. Just a real quick, we did upgraded LED lighting, interior and exterior, pretty much on most of the buildings except the high school. Upgraded the controls, did water conservation, HVAC system upgrades here at the Education Center, the middle school, and the Area Technology Center as well. So the results of this latest year is that we, the actual savings was $148,980, which exceeded the guaranteed savings amount by $44,000 this year. So that's just additional savings that goes to the general fund. And then, which is a 42% increase over the guaranteed amount. And if you go to the next slide, the cumulative savings over the first 2 years has exceeded the savings by $91,000 total, which is 43.8% more than what the guarantee was. So really good news. This next slide just shows you, I'm sure Ms. Coffey is aware that utility rates are going up. So the blue line on this chart shows that based on where you started when we did the baseline analysis to where you would have been today had you not done the energy conservation project, you would have been spending about $750,000 a year on utility costs. And the most recent year that we tracked the utility bill expenditures, it was $487,000, which is actually a difference of $262,000. So you can see that it has drastically saved a lot of money for the district. The next slide just shows you, it takes dollars out of the equation just to show that the actual energy use in the building, the kBTUs per square foot is going down. So we can't control dollars because that's controlled by the utility company. But what we can do is we can control the amount of energy that's being used in the building. So this is just another metric to show that where the baseline was, which was a 60, the higher the number, the less efficient, the lower the number, the more efficient the district is. So you're down to 39.2, which is well below the average for for most districts in the state. So you're doing really well there. The next slide is just where you would rank. You can actually score buildings just like appliances on an Energy Star rating. And one of your buildings is really close, the middle school, and 3 of your buildings actually exceeds the 75, which would qualify it for an Energy Star rating, which is just a recognition for the building. And the only other thing that we need to do is we need to come in and take some measurements in the building to make sure that the learning environment conditions, they want to make sure that we're not just like shutting ventilation off or lowering the temperature too low or raising it too high just to save a bunch of energy. You have to meet certain comfort standards in the classroom as well. So that's something that we can do once, I guess, COVID hopefully is in the rearview mirror. We could get into the buildings and do some of those spot checks, and then we could submit for these awards for the buildings as well. We also support you throughout the performance phase. This next one just shows that there were 80 tickets entered into our portal, that we resolved 77 of the 80 so far. I believe the 3 that are still open, we're just holding them open because there've been some humidity issues off and on in this building, and we've been doing some tweaks to help improve those humidity issues that we've been seeing. And I believe we've made drastic improvements, but we're holding those tickets open just to give it some more time to monitor it and make sure that we've taken care of everything. So last thing I'll leave you with is that when we did your project, we got to walk your buildings, and we also identified additional savings opportunities that could be done in the future if the district chooses to do another project like this. Certainly could do LED lighting at the high school. Solar has a pretty good payback. Building weatherization, controls possibly for the engine block heaters for the buses, some additional HVAC equipment replacement. And then there's also, we can look into your telecom expenditures as well and see if we can save you any money there. That's all I have. I'll answer any questions.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Any more members? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Keep up the
Good
good work.
report. Thank you.
Item number 3 from me is the update on the new hires and resignations for October since the September board meeting, so you've had a chance to take a look at those. We move forward from there. Move to number 3.
All right, under number 3 is reports, and item number 8 is our treasurer's report.
All right, our ending cash balance for September was $6,469,371. And that is down slightly from the last September, about 110,000. So that's really not that huge of a variance between this year and last year. As in the past, the top section of this report shows each ending balance by fund. And then the bottom section compares it at this time this year to what it was last year. So we're just going to look at some of the larger variances. Our general fund had an increased balance of about $562,000, and that was due to the availability of the ESSER funds, and we were able to offset our general fund costs in the prior year, which in turn increased our ending balance. Our special revenue fund, the balance decreased over $274,000 for the same reason, due to the use of the ESSER funds, the increase in the expenditures, and then those funds are reimbursed always the following month. Our building fund saw an increased balance of about $395,000, and that was due to an increase in fee payment. Our construction fund has a decreased balance of $507,000, and that was due to the completion of prior year projects. And our food service fund had a decreased balance of about $360,000, and that was due to us enacting the spend down plan from the prior year. And then all other funds noted had minimal changes. And then of course, you've also got the munis report that kind of gives you a little bit more detail by fund, and I've made some notes on it. So if you have any questions.
Thank you very much. Any board members have any questions? All right. Thank you, Ms. Coffey, appreciate it. And item C, under item 3 is bond potential update.
for you. So we had a slight decrease. You're now at $28.6 million. The change was because of the interest rates going up, which we anticipated and know that that's a possibility. We've met with Garrard and they continue to feel very comfortable about the position that you're in and continue to look forward to the equalization of that third nickel and what that will mean for you. So they still feel comfortable with where we're located as far as moving forward with projects.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. All right, item C is bills as presented.
You will see those on a weekly basis, and we just include that here to make sure that we comply with everything we need to comply with.
Thank you, sir. All right, item 4 is the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to adopt all items on the consent agenda?
Make a motion to adopt the items of the consent agenda.
All right, thank you. Mr. Spring made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Davis seconded. Any board members have any questions or anything jump out at you that you would like to pull out or whatever? All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, let me know by lifted hand. All board members were in favor. The consent agenda is adopted, which brings us to item 5, which is the action agenda. And the first item on the action agenda is to approve the vaccination incentive pay that will be reimbursed to us by the Kentucky Department of Education.
So last month, when we asked for this, you all declined that, but there was a question that was asked that we tried to get an answer for. One of the questions asked was, would there be any liabilities to the board should somebody take the vaccination and have a problem that occurs? So we checked with attorneys to confirm that, your board attorney, and then additional attorneys as well to make sure this is a KDE initiative. It's not a board issue at all. So you would have no liability whatsoever connected to that. You would be simply serving as a flow through. So my recommendation to you is that you approve this for those people who have completed the vaccination or for anyone who did by December 1.
Okay, you've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Hurt made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second it.
Ms. Davis second. All right, do you have any questions or comments any board member would like to make before we have a motion?
I just wish that we would, instead of considering that it's further dividing the community and the people that are working with us and for us, that there's some way to pay all of them $100 because they've all worked throughout the year, no matter whether they've had the shot or not. They've all worked hard, they've all done their jobs, they've all been here for the district. But I just feel that this further divides feelings on it, so because people have reasons for taking the shot, people have reasons for not taking the shot. And I just don't think it's right to reward one side and not everybody. But that's simply my opinion.
Anybody else?
I would just like to say that my position on it from last month has not changed, but I do have something I'd like to add. And I think if you look at these incentives to get the vaccination, there are multiple incentive packages in all disciplines, not just in the school system. This, I think, is the first incentive we've seen, but it follows with a mandate. And so there's an incentive and an incentive and an incentive to get as many people as possible vaccinated. And they accept the incentive. And then at the end of the day comes a mandate. And so I feel like if we participate in this incentive pay reimbursement practice, we are going to find ourselves with a vaccine mandate that we have to vote on. And so I'm not comfortable with that. I don't think we should be incentivizing people to seek health care, to get a vaccination or to not get it. And I certainly don't want to have to make a vote on whether we will mandate a vaccine or not. But this is a pattern of vaccine policy that has repeated itself over and over and over in different disciplines. And we're headed in that direction. So if you vote to approve this, I think you also need to think about how you would vote when the challenge comes to offer the mandate.
Thank you for sharing that, Dr. Lamb. personally, I can't see that happening. I don't think this superintendent or any member of this board would vote to mandate vaccines.
Superintendent won't have anything to say, it'll come over his head.
Well, I will, but anyway, me as a human being, as a person, there was some concern brought up about coercion. What if, we do this incentive and somebody takes the vaccine and have an adverse effect? Well,
Did we have an arm twisting on the mask?
an arm twisting.
Yes. The governors mandated it, and that didn't stand up. Legislature overrode it. KDE voted to do it. The Supreme Court overruled them. So they just turned it over to the Kentucky Department of Health, and they twist your arm until, as Ms. Lamb said, in one form or another, they're gonna twist your arm to do whatever they need to get whatever mandate that they see fit. And I don't see that, I agree with her, I don't see that this is gonna change a thing. I certainly hope it doesn't happen, but I wouldn't be a bit surprised if it did happen. Now, I may be a little cynical, but the job experience in the past has taught me not to take anything at face value. Always look at it. And I hope you're right, but be cautiously optimistic on my part.
Well, where I was trying to go with that is, if I didn't want to take a vaccine that I thought might harm me or kill me, $100 is sure not going to encourage me to take it. $1,000 would, $10,000 would. But I'm for following through on the superintendent's recommendation.
I agree with both of your stances, totally. And I was the one that, it was, I guess, maybe the decided vote last time, because I wanted to have legal interpretation of where we would stand. The only reason that I have changed my mind on this does not reflect that I believe in the vaccination. It reflects the fact that these people have an opportunity to get reimbursed. But what I'd also like to be done is for us to investigate the possibility of how do we reward the others for standing up for their convictions, and if there's a right way to do that. And
That's what Mr. McQuarrie.
exactly. So
And just to make my point clear, if you look at what's happened in the hospitals, there were multiple incentives to get vaccinated, and it was tied to financial gains. So here's your incentive to get the vaccine, we're gonna pay you this amount of money. Well, now they got that, they agreed to participate in that incentive pay, and then the next thing they know, there's a vaccine mandate on the table. So those people who were not vaccinated ended up walking out of healthcare. What would we do in this district if we had employees who walked away from the schools because they're not vaccinated? So, and Mr. McQuarrie's point is that this is a program that's been approved by the KDE, and we have the opportunity to either participate in it or to not. And what I'm saying is that I choose not to participate in it because I don't like the direction that it's going to take us, which is in the direction of vaccine mandate. So the next thing that might come to us, if we, whether we participated or not, it may still come to us. But the precedent would have been set that we are not going to participate in programs that we don't agree with. But what might come next is the KDE to say, if you want seek funding, then you have to approve a vaccine mandate. So here we have participated in the KDE's vaccination reimbursement program. Are we also going to participate in a KDE recommended vaccine mandate?
Okay, anybody else?
Yes, I think that KDE initiated this reward and again, put it back into the hands of the local board. And because they did that, it's open to all staff people. And as far as I know, all Kentucky's districts have chosen to participate. I see what you're saying, but I don't know the what ifs. I think right now, this incentive is to reward those that did. It's not about us, in our opinions, it's about something that KDE wanted to say thank you to those who were vaccinated. And I think some people were very shocked that we did not support them in receiving that. Some districts had gone above and beyond the $100. So I think it's not about us. I think it's about our employees and the fact that they have the opportunity to receive the $100 if they chose to be vaccinated. And I think we should support that. So I am in favor of it and not so much about the what ifs, not to say that you're not correct, but I think it's not about us. I think it's about our employees, about our staff,
Thank you.
people that make their days go smoothly for our students.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? We all done? We ready to vote? All in favor, let me know by lifting hand. All opposed, the like sign. The motion carries 3 votes to 2 votes. All right, item B is to approve a contract for Little Rascals Learning Campus.
Little Rascals approached us about the opportunity to use Camp Dick Robinson to do after-hours daycare. And we've known about this for a little while, but we wanted to make sure, again, that we ran through legal to confirm that this was okay. We did not approach them, they approached us. So I want to be clear that if somebody approaches us and wants to do the same thing at Lancaster, we'll be willing to entertain that. If somebody wants to do it at Paint Lick, we'll be willing to entertain that as well. I worked with Grant to make sure that this complied with everything that he felt like you needed to have in place. This is a memorandum of agreement, and if you approve it, we'll enter into that with them, and they'll provide after-hour daycare at CDR.
Thank you, sir. You've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Do I have a motion?
I move that we enter into this contract with Little Rascals.
Ms. Davis made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
And Mr. Hurt second. Do we have any questions or comments? All in favor, let me know by lifting hand. All board members were in favor. The motion carries. Item C is to approve MOA with BCTC, Mr. Stoll.
Every year in our relationship with them, we have to make sure that we have your agreement and your approval for dual credit and the work that we do with BCTC. So I would ask that you approve this MOA, and that would be my recommendation to you.
You've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the MOA.
Dr. Lamb made a motion. Do I have a second?
A second.
Mr. McQuarrie made the second. Any questions or comments? All in favor, let me know by lifting hand. All board members were in favor. The motion approved. Item D is to approve emergency certification for Garrard County Middle School language arts position.
So one of the things that we've been sharing with you is the area of teacher shortage. We've come to you before for something like Spanish. Now we're coming to you with an item like language arts. And it gives you an indication of the challenges that we're facing when it comes to that. The middle school tried numerous times to find someone who was certified to step into this position, and they could not find someone. They have located an individual who has been capable as a sub in that role and is giving 110% on a daily basis. A former student of ours who graduated from the high school, and this will probably lead to him being a teacher for us. So in a roundabout way, it's a grow your own, not probably the way we'd like to have it happen, but it is a necessary piece for us. My recommendation to you is that you approve this emergency certification for the GMS language arts position.
All right, fellow board members, you've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Hurt made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Davis second. Any questions or comments? All in favor, let me know by lifting hand. And all board members were in favor. The certification is approved. Item E is to approve instructional assistance for Garrard County Learning Academy, Mr. Stoll.
One of the things that we did this year that we've never done before was create a Garrard County Learning Academy. And we now have 108 students who are in that academy. If we were being fully funded this year, Based on our current numbers, you all know that we have the highest numbers that we've ever had. And this position would pay for itself easily. But you also know that the state has said that we'll be using the 2018-2019 year for ADA. However, we've also been told that at the legislative session, that there may be a look at those districts that have shown growth, and maybe some funding would come that way. So my recommendation to you is that we approve this, not knowing that that will happen for sure. You have enough money in contingency that this would not be a problem for you. We would not want to deal with ESSER money because we need to see how this really impacts us. Should the numbers at the school at GCLA go down and it not be self-sustaining, then we would not recommend doing this in the future. But we would recommend that this be there as we move forward as an additional support to our students who are participating, because they are our students. And we want to make sure that they have the ability to be online every day like they're supposed to be, not have to wait on somebody to help them after hours. And so this would be a classified position that we would recommend. It would be very much like any instructional assistant, but we have written a job description that's specific to this role because obviously it's different. And so what we're asking you to do is approve that position based on the job description, allow us to post that position and see if we can find somebody who can help support our students in that environment.
Okay, you've heard the superintendent's recommendations. Do we have a motion?
I recommend the hiring of an instructional assistant to
Okay,
GCLA.
Ms. Davis made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Hurd, second. Any questions or comments? Is this for the remainder of this school year
It would be
only, and then,
correct. If that's what we're saying, if it's not self-sustaining moving forward, we would not recommend it. And we would probably have to look at the position in every fall. So if GCLA opened next year with 10 students, we wouldn't recommend this position. If they open with 100 again, we would, because the funding mechanism would be in place, it would pay for itself.
thank you, sir, appreciate it. Any other board members? All in favor, let me know by lifting hand. All board members were in favor. The motion is approved. Item F, something we've been looking forward to.
So we've been moving forward with the idea of construction opportunities, and one of the first things that has to happen is a survey at the high school campus. And Klopfelter Samcar put out an RFP. They had a response from that. I've posted both of those for you so that you can take a look at those. Having had a conversation with them, the recommendation they made to me was AGE as the surveying company. That would be my recommendation to you, is that we do this and allow them to begin the process. They can't actually start looking at where they're going to position things until they know what this looks like. So us executing this puts us in a spot to start looking for more specific information back as far as schematics or plans or drawings for what we're looking at doing, where they'll be positioned. So my recommendation is that we approve that and move forward.
Okay, you've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Dr. Pam made the motion.
I'll second.
Mr. McCray second. Any other questions or comments? So by doing this tonight, you guys will get on the ball.
Yes, we'll get on the ball.
They're
Check, we think
already
it'll
on the
take-
ball. It's just, they just gonna roll it a little faster.
This, what this is gonna do, this is gonna take a look at your as-built conditions after they finish the high school property. How did it lay out? How does it lay out? How does the land lay? It helps us determine where we'll take that picture that we showed y'all during our interview, which was kind of a master plan of where we thought sports fields could go, and kind of nail down those areas. It really clarifies where everything we think can go. We'll bring that to you. If y'all like that, then we'll move forward into the, what they call geotechnical testing, which is making sure that there aren't ground issues in those areas. And it's just part of that process of getting us moving closer. This way we'll be able to start showing you where fields lay out. We'll show you where the building can possibly interact with the existing facility, bus garage. All of those things will come into place, but we really need something to work from. So that's what this is doing. And it's doing the whole farm. If you wonder about the discrepancy in price, you can see the AGE was about $25,500. Spencer was about $43,500. AGE is one of the first in the state that are doing most of their image and survey capturing using a drone. So it really cuts down on the man hours, and allows them to move more quickly, therefore their price is much lower. We've used them now successfully on 2 or 3 other projects and have gotten really more information than we need, so, which is unusual in some of the surveys we get from other folks. So we've had good luck with them, and again, they've come in significantly lower. So that would be our recommendation.
Thanks, sir. Any other board members?
I've just noticed that we have representatives from construction manager Trace Creek, and judging from their lack of comment, they must agree with you on this, hopefully. Hopefully, we're in concurrence there. Everything is working well. Glad to see you all here tonight.
It's good to be back with you all.
Thank you.
It's the first time we've been back since we were hired, so we just want to show up, when you're going to vote on the survey, and just want to be present.
So I can guarantee you this will not be the last meeting we're attending. There will be many more.
Yep. Hopefully, in the not too distant future. All right, anybody else? All in favor, let me know by lifted hand. All board members were in favor, it's approved. Gentlemen,
No problem at all.
all right.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Mr. McQuarrie makes a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? Ms.
Second.
Davis, Mr. Hurd, second. I thought she was gonna be. All in favor, let me know by lifted hand. All were in favor, the board meeting is adjourned. Thank you all so much for being here. We appreciate it.
People,
We're still listening.